What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package, as well as the next stimulus package, as well as what is going on in the world today. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. And if you could hit the like button for us, it really helps out our channel. We got lots to cover today, and let's jump right in. The theory that COVID-19 came from a laboratory in Wuhan, China is really getting a lot more steam over the last 48 to 72 hours as top US health officials and congressmen are considering ways to force China into giving us information that COVID-19 did actually come out of a lab in Wuhan, China. Dr. Scott Gottlieb, a former head of the FDA during the Trump administration, told CNBC on Monday that circumstantial evidence is growing to support the idea of a lab leak. Quote, the question for a lot of people is going to be, when are too many coincidences too much? When does it seem that there's too many things suggesting that this could have come out of a lab? Dr. Fauci has actually come out and agreed with this, saying, I do not have any accounting of what the Chinese may have done, and I'm fully in favor of further investigation of what went on in China. The same day, he said that, quote, he is not convinced that COVID-19 developed naturally. He says, I am not convinced about that. I think we should continue to investigate what went on in China until we continue to find out to the best of our ability what happened. US officials are looking for creative ways to get data out of the Chinese government and to somewhat force them to give the data that might be hidden and that we have not yet received on where this virus might have come from. This comes as new information. About 48 hours ago came out that there was a group of scientists from the laboratory in Wuhan, China, that went to the hospital in November of 2019 and basically had COVID-like symptoms, and this is now just being discovered to the public because a previously secretly classified document has now been made public. Former President Donald Trump says he feels vindicated now and agrees and says, quote, I was right. Trump says now everybody is agreeing that I was right when I very early on called Wuhan as the source of COVID-19, sometimes referred to as the China virus, former President Trump said in a statement. In related news, former President Donald Trump is also being sued for $31 million over the use of the term China virus, that it's derogatory, discriminating, and has promoted violence against Asian Americans or Asians in general, and is currently one of the several lawsuits that he is ongoing at the moment. New information is also out about former President Donald Trump's investigation with Russia, a previous one that basically showed proof that former President Donald Trump was not guilty of any crimes in that investigation. Although President Biden, or I shouldn't say President Biden, the Department of Justice is appealing this order to release the full memo on why former President Donald Trump wasn't charged with obstruction. Speaking of that, President Biden is going to meet with Russian leader Vladimir Putin on June 16th in Geneva over the gas pipeline hacks that happened in the United States that apparently came out of Russia, although they don't think it came from the Russian government, but a rogue group out of Russia. And also the U.S. sanctions that the U.S. has put in over Russia in regards to that and election interference. By the way, that hacker group that hacked the U.S. pipeline has hacked 3 more companies now, 1 from the U.S., 2 from other countries, and is basically continuing to do this as they got a payment of almost $5 million that was paid for not by the Biden administration or the government, but by the gas pipeline company. And apparently they paid it within 24 hours, and they basically gave them a license to continue to do this again. And even though they paid him within 24 hours, it still took them days to get the gas pipeline unhacked. And I just have a very bad fear that we're going to see a lot more of this in the near future, this year, next year, the year after. I think it's kind of the modern day cyber warfare, gas pipelines, airports, transit systems, security systems. I mean, the amount of um, companies and private companies and government, information that's online is just endless, which really means there's endless possibilities of this happening in the future. Let me know if you, yeah, how much you think this is going to be an issue of in the future. One of the next stimulus items that they're fighting over right now is raising the federal minimum wage. The federal minimum wage is only $7.25. It is currently like that, I believe, in 20 different states, which is 40% of the United States. And this is really a big fight that I think we are going to see some results on sometime this year. This is really a current hot topic because we have 22 or 23 different Republican-run states that are opting out of the unemployment bonus money because our current jobs report and retail sales report was terrible. And really, the Republicans and the Democrats see this two completely different ways. Republicans are like, yeah, that means we need to force people to go back to work. We need to get rid of the $300 per week bonus. We need to get rid of the extra unemployment weeklies, extra unemployment weeks, I should say, that add on to the normal amount of weeks you can collect unemployment. And this is what we're seeing from 23 different Republican-run states. Here is the current list of states that are opting out of the unemployment bonuses. As you can see here, all the red states are states that are opting out of that $300 per week bonus. And I think there's 3 or 4 different states that are offering, instead of a $300 per week bonus, they're offering a back to work bonus. I hope we see more of these states happen, but the states that are currently offering back to work bonuses is Arizona, which is offering up to $2,000 back to work bonus if you get a full-time job, $1,000 if you get a part-time job. North Carolina, a $1,500 back to work bonus is currently being pitched by the North Carolina State Republicans. Connecticut is offering a $1,000 bonus, unemployment bonus, and Colorado is offering a $1,600 back to work bonus to unemployed people who find a full-time job. Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib, who is also the co-author of the $1,000 per month fourth stimulus check bill, says that what there is a livable wage shortage. As she shows this graph here that shows wages and salaries as part of their share of the GDI, which has really fallen. This is the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And you can see the wages have really fallen over the decades, as it's really a lot harder than it used to be for, say, one person to afford the whole salary for the family, buy a home, buy a car. Back in the day, you used to be able to do that, and it's much, much harder now based on this graph. Now, these declining wages do kind of pair up with the minimum wage that hasn't been raised in about 2 decades. And the Democrats are really trying to block this $300 per week bonus because it's passed from the third stimulus check package. And Democrats actually want to pass more stimulus to put money in people's pockets because they're really unhappy that Republican-run governors are blocking this stimulus aid that was passed by the third stimulus check package. By the way, if you received a letter recently in the last several days or the past few weeks that says you're going to be receiving a $1,400 stimulus check, that's the letter from the third stimulus check package. And really, that just goes to show you how slowly the government can work when it comes to anything, right? I mean, we're dealing with the government. I mean, if you're a government employee, maybe you're mad at me, or maybe you're actually laughing along with me. But yeah, they're sending out this letter that says you're going to be receiving a $1,400 stimulus check within the next 7 days. And a lot of people got their stimulus check like a month or maybe even 2 months ago from the third stimulus check package, and they're just getting the letter now. So that letter is not for the fourth stimulus check. We'll talk about the fourth stimulus check now here in a second and what's really going on with the momentum of that. But you should actually keep that letter. That's actually an official notice or official statement, per se, from the IRS. So don't worry too much if you threw it away. But if you do have it, just put it in your files and keep it. It's kind of like record of the third stimulus check for you. Not that you really need it that much. but the IRS does say you should keep it if you get it. Now, a fourth and even mention of a fifth stimulus check has come about in the last few days or so, and is really gaining traction in Congress as we're starting to see more and more Democrats come on board for a fourth stimulus check, a fifth stimulus check, even, or monthly stimulus checks that would go until the pandemic is over, which is this bill from the Senate that's co-authored by Senator Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren, that is for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks as the fourth stimulus check update. They want these fourth stimulus checks to be monthly stimulus checks to go until the pandemic is declared over. We also have a bill from the House of Representatives that is for a one-time $2,000 stimulus check, followed then by $1,000 monthly recurring payments. That would go until 1 year after the pandemic is declared over, and is co-authored by Representative Rashida Tlaib out of Michigan and Representative Pramila Jayapal, who is actually the leader of the Progressive Democrat Caucus, the Progressive Caucus in the U.S. House of Representatives, which is about one half of all Democrats in the House of Representatives. This is in addition to a petition that has been signed for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks that almost has 2.25 million signatures, which is one of the largest petitions I've ever seen, or one of the largest I've heard of, for stimulus checks. This will go to the White House, and they will have to give us a response. Now, President Biden himself and White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki have both said that if Congress wants to put in a fourth stimulus check in one of these next packages, they surely could do so, and they would be open to the idea. So basically, both the president and the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki are saying that if the Democrats want to put in a fourth stimulus check, or even these monthly recurring stimulus checks, or a fourth and fifth stimulus check into these next packages, they could do so, and the White House has basically given them the green light to do so. So that's why when we talk about all these different Democrats and the leader of the Progressive Caucus in the House of Representatives and the bill from the Senate and all this support for a fourth stimulus check, this is exactly how we got the second stimulus check. It was all this momentum and all this movement is really what led us to the second stimulus check. Without that, we wouldn't have got it because they initially announced the bill without a stimulus check in there. And they, at the end, days before they, just like 2 or 3 days before they voted on it, they took the money away from states and cities and gave it to us as the second stimulus check package. That was underneath President Trump at the time. That was in December. And then really Trump pushed for the third stimulus check, really, because he wanted an additional $1,400 to make it $2,000. And we know Mitch McConnell blocked that, and it cost him the Senate. And then President Biden actually ended up passing it as his first bill in office. So really, these stimulus checks kind of get negotiated all the way up until the last day. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see multiple different stimulus items slipped into this stimulus package called the American Families Plan. We also have Democrats calling to do it in the physical infrastructure plan. But if I had to put my money on one, I'd say for sure it'll be in the American Families Plan. I think it's a longer shot that it'll be in the physical infrastructure plan, but they could do that if the Republicans, if they don't do it with the Republicans, if they do it through the reconciliation process, which I think is more and more likely. Last week, I gave it a 50-50 chance that they could get the physical infrastructure package done with Republicans. I'm going to probably lean more 60-40 right now, 60% that the Democrats will do it through the reconciliation process. I think the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, which is really the second half of the infrastructure plan, it's been broken into two halves. I think there's a 95% chance the Democrats are going to have to pass that on their own through the reconciliation process, which is how the third stimulus check package was passed. Not a single Republican voted for it. And I think that's what they're going to do for the fourth stimulus check package, known as the American Families Plan. And there's about 15 different items that they're negotiating on: Social Security increases, Medicare increases, free college, free preschool, a fourth stimulus check, even a fifth stimulus check, monthly stimulus checks, student loan forgiveness, although I'm pretty sure they're going to do that in through an executive order. There's some new news coming out about that. I'll talk to you about it. I'm not worried about it at all, but we'll get into that in the next video or so. I'll put put that on my list to talk about student loan forgiveness. I really do think that after student loan forgiveness happens, again, there's already been 3 rounds of it that has happened, but I think we're going to see more types of debt forgiveness in the future because the Democrats are all about equality and making everything fair and taxing the rich and giving it to the poor, almost like the Robin Hood here. That's just really what they want to do. And I think that we're going to see more types of debt forgiveness after we get that mass round of student loan debt forgiveness for the other people that didn't qualify for student loan forgiveness, such as credit card debt forgiveness, mortgage debt forgiveness, medical bill debt forgiveness, or tax forgiveness. The IRS or the government can do a couple of those very easily through an executive order that won't even need passed through Congress. So I'll keep you up to date on everything. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below and join our family of subscribers. We just passed 350,000 subscribers and 105 million views in total. Think about that, 105 million views. Yeah, 105 million times our channel has been watched. Absolutely amazing. So join our family. Our community here is completely free to subscribe. If you ever read the comments down below, you know we have the best and the warmest community here. We welcome people with open arms, and we really support each other. There's a lot of different stimulus items that have already been passed that will be coming available soon, especially on the state level. We're going to see state stimulus checks, state stimulus programs, mortgage assistance, rental assistance. I cover all those different programs here on the channel, a lot of which will literally get money in your pocket. So make sure to subscribe, and you can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is about President Biden's $1,341 raise for Social Security per month. If you haven't watched that, you should watch that, or this other one that's the newest stimulus check video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.